It's the early 1980s, and this Austrian Sigma named Gaston Glock is just chilling, making curtain rods and knives. Bro's like 50 years old, living that quiet life and booling to the max. Then, out of nowhere, the Austrian army decides it's time for a new pistol, and they're offering a fat, juicy bag to the supplier. Gaston, with zero gun-making experience, says, "Bet, let me cook, cuzzo." He starts sketching the Glock 17, his 17th patent. Buddy sure knew how to manufacture a glizzy. However, when it came to naming products, he was not exactly the sharpest pitchfork in the barn. For instance, the Glock 45 fires 9mm, not 45. And the Glock 22 fires 40, not 22. Brilliant system you got there, Gaston. But Glizzy Boy Gaston wasn't just flexing his skills for clout. He had a vision. Metal is cringe. I like my guns how I like my girls. Plastic, he said. So he crafts a polymer frame thumper that's lighter, simpler, and cheaper to make. Only 34 parts, no manual safety, just vibes. The Austrian army tested the Glock 17, and boom, Gaston secured the 25,000 unit contract in 1982. This put Glock on the map, and they officially began pushing heaters. In 1985, business is solid, but Gaston decides America is where the real bag's at. He sets up Glock Inc. in Smyrna, Georgia, and his head of sales, Carl Walter, pulls the ultimate giga-chat move, giving cops steep discounts on Glocks. Suddenly, almost every officer's rocking that foreign exotic polymer drip. By the 90s, Glock already accounted for around 65% of the US handgun market and was quickly monopolizing market share. This caused controversy because naturally, a lot of sus boys began using Glocks to commit crimes. But from a business POV, sales are sales, and Glock was printing money like J. Powell. These days, the ATF says Glocks are the #1 gun traced to crime from 2017 through 2021. So why was Glock this dominant? It's all about the product.
Nice.
These guns are dummy reliable. You could yoss them in mud, snow, a 50-gallon drum of mayonnaise, and they still go pew-pew. The polymer frame keeps it light, high-capacity mags keep it loaded, and the Tenefer finish makes it corrosion-proof. It was just better. Fun fact, the Glock 18 is fully auto and law enforcement only. Now that's some S-tier DLC. Simplicity was the real W for Glock. Fewer parts equals faster and cheaper production, which equals bigger profit margins. Other gun makers were out here with 70-part clunkers, while Glock's over here speed running the manufacturing process. Let's talk cheddar for a second, because Glock's been raking it in. Exact numbers are sus because they're a private company. But here's what we've gathered. Back in 2016, they reportedly hit $750 million in revenue, but sales dipped in 2017 to $556 million when gun hype cooled off. Forbes pegged Glock's 2020 global sales at about $500 million. Dun & Bradstreet says in the US alone, Glock pulls $92 million annually, and analysts estimate Gaston Glock's personal bag was worth over $1.5 billion before he passed in 2023 at 94, RIP OG. With over 20 million Glocks sold lifetime, and each one retailing from $500 to $700, you do the math. That's $1 billion empire built on plastic and hustle. Sheesh. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. In 1999, Gaston suspected his financial advisor Charles Hewitt of embezzlement. After being confronted, Hewitt hired a hitman to off Gaston with a hammer in a parking garage. Bro took a hammer to the dome, survived, and beat the dude down at 70 years old. Now that's big Sigma energy. Turns out the advisor did embezzle millions, and both he and the hitman were arrested for multiple crimes. Then, there's the lawsuits. Glock's been hit with claims over accidental shootings and those sketchy switch kits. They're like LMAO skill issue, but the legal heat is real. Fortunately for Glock, they Fortnite danced on the lawsuits and kept stacking generational paper. So where's Glock at now? They've got over 24 models, sponsor a shooting team, and even sell knives and, yep, you guessed it, horse essentials. Weird flex. But okay. They inspired a wave of polymer guns, Walther, S&W, Hyper, all chasing that glizzy aura. Rappers like Snoop Dogg name drop them, suburban mums use them, cops swear by them. Love it or hate it, Glock's an American cultural icon. Business-wise, they're still private, still secretive, and still printing. No IPO vibes yet, but with their market share and brand loyalty, they don't need to. They're out here living rent-free in the free world, stacking guap and hustling sticks. Like, comment your favorite Glock model and subscribe for more elite business content.